All right, I'd like to start off by saying, Barakateh How, Barakateh How Shai, Barakateh How Bashim How Shai, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, enough respect to the brothers that are out there pushing this truth to the four corners of the world. This video is going to focus mainly on the fear of Yahweh Bashim How Shai, and how he's terrible in his doings, and how really fearing him will save your life, because when you fear him, you're cautious, you take your time, you think about everything that you do to not piss him off, right? Because he's scary, and that shit will save you, right? So I want to begin with Deuteronomy chapter 32. Deuteronomy 32 and 39. Right, okay. It says, this is Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. See now that I, even I, am he. There is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. So that's him. If somebody gets killed, when you hear on the news that somebody got hit by a car, somebody was smoking on top of a building and he fell off and fucking died. A dog just ran up and fucking killed somebody. It's all the Most High, man. He's the one that does that, right? But I know that there's teachings out there that saying that, oh, if it's good, life is God, and the devil is all death and stuff, and the devil is fighting against God. No, that's not true, right? The death comes from the Most High. If the Most High wants you dead, your ass is getting killed. If he wants you alive, no one is debating that, right? So there's nobody out there fighting God. There's nobody strong enough to fight God to try and be equal with him, right? There's nobody out there that you have to protect yourself from, right? It's all the Most High. Please him. When you fear him, you please him, right? So it says, see thou that I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal, right? Neither is there any that can deliver, right? Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hands. See, that's him. He's the top. He's the top. He's the Most High. That is him, right? There's nobody next to him. Like, if he decides, yo, I'm gonna get this nigga right here, like, nobody can save you. Nobody can save you from him. That's why it's so scary, right? So he kills and he makes alive, right? Eli's kids, I believe, is 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel. Yeah, in the book of Salakia, I'm trying to chapter 2, verse 31 to 36. Right. This is 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 31. It says, behold, the days come. Now, before I read that, I just want to give a quick, explanation of what this is about. This is about Eli and his sons, right? So, Eli, his sons were going off, right? They weren't, they were sleeping with the women, and, because of they use their statues as priests. But the sin that the scriptures emphasize the most is how there's a custom in, right? So there's a custom in Israel for the priests that when they make a sacrifice, before they make that sacrifice, right, the priests get portions. That is a privilege for the Levites, right? So when they are taking their portion, they're supposed to boil the meat. They boil it, and then they take the meat with a hook, and anything that comes off the hook is what they get to keep, right? So this is this is what you do for every single person that comes to make a sacrifice. But the sons of Eli were not doing that. All right, they kept the meat raw and they put the hooks in it. Now, if the meat is raw and you put the hook in it, what happens is that it takes, like, it could take all the meat, right? It takes a good portion. It could take all the meat, and the person has and then there ends up being no sacrifice to the Most High, right? So the Lord had his eye on them, and he decided to punish them, right? And this is his punishment. This is what makes the Most High scary, right? And he also gets on Eli because Eli knew it, and he wasn't like he wasn't disciplining his sons, man. Because every time they told him, he knew, but then the next day his kids would come and do the same thing, right? He wasn't whooping no ass, right? He wasn't disciplining people. So this is what the Most High said. It says, "Behold, the days come that I will cut off thine arm," right? "And the arm of thy father's house." Like the word arm in this sentence means like strength, right? So, behold, the days come that I will cut off thy arm, strength, and the arms of thy father's house, the strength of thy father's house, that there shall not be an old man in thy house, right? There won't be, from that day on, like, there will not be any old man. Nobody will grow old, right? In all his household, nobody will grow old. "And thou shalt see an enemy in my habitation, and in all the wealth which God shall give Israel. And there shall not be an old man in thy house forever," right? That means like for the rest of our days, I mean, at least like until the kingdom, when he's spared, nobody will grow old in his house. That is how scary the Most High. The Most High put this curse on him, that there shall not be an old man in his house forever, right? And the man of thine whom I shall not cut off from my altar. So every man shall not live to grow old. They will all die in their prime. But the ones that that survive, that the Most High have mercy on, like, really not, it's not really, well, I don't know if it's mercy or not, but the ones that don't get killed, this is what he says that happened to them, right? "And the man of thine whom I shall not cut off from mine altar shall be to consume thy eyes, and to grieve thine heart, and all the increase of thine heart shall die in the flower of their age," right? So the man that does not, so it goes on and mentions again that every man shall die in the flower of their age, in their prime. You know, like when a man hits his peak, that's when they die. They don't get to do anything with that. They just straight up die, like however death imaginable that the Most High chooses to put on them. Now, is die. And the one that shall not be cut off, they will be like, they will be a grief unto their heart. Every time you see them, you grieve, right? That's how they will not be respectable. They will grieve your heart, right? "And this shall be a sign unto thee." Select me. Yeah, and this shall be, this is verse 34. "And this shall be a sign unto thee, that thou shalt come upon thy two sons, on Hophni and Phinehas, and in one day they shall both die of them." They shall both, and in one day they shall die, both of them, right? So they shall die in one day. And then verse 35 says, "I will raise me up a faithful priest, that shall do according to that which is in my heart and in my mind, and I will build him a sure house, and he shall walk before mine anointing forever. And it shall come to pass that every one that is left in thy house shall come and crouch to him for a piece of silver and a morsel of bread, and shall say, Put me, I pray thee, into one of thy priest offices, that I may eat a piece of bread." See, the ones that do survive, they're gonna beg for bread, for a morsel of bread, for a tiny piece of food, man. They're gonna beg for change, like for money. That is very emasculating, right? Now, when you read this scared me. This is very, like, you just keep seeing how terrible he is. I mean, the scripture says He doesn't respect this, the Most High, he doesn't respect anybody. He doesn't need to respect anybody, right? He's terrible in his doing. And he put this curse on Eli and his sons because they stole from him and from the people. They were corrupt. And the Most High put this, it shall be forever. Right? So, we can also look at, we're gonna go to Exodus, and read off the place. So in Egypt, when Israel was in captivity, the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart. You know, for those who don't know, the Lord hardened his heart, and see these tiny details is what makes him scary, right? He hardened Pharaoh's heart so that he will not let the Israelites go, so he will punish Pharaoh. Like, yo, like, it's total control. That's what makes him, you fear him, man, and then you get into a good standing with him, where you try to please him. This tiny detail, he makes someone so stubborn just so he can punish him, right? He brought lice, locusts, a swarm of locusts went through the field and ate everything, all the crops they can see. Turned the rivers into blood. The fishes died. It started stinking. Nobody could drink from it, right? He killed all their cattle Gave them lice, frogs infesting their houses. How disgusting that is. And then in the midnight, while everybody slept, he sent a death angel and killed every firstborn in the land, everything that was of Egyptian, because they pissed him off. Killed all, even cattle, livestock, bro. They like, the livestock never enslaved Israel, but it doesn't matter. The Most High wants to do it. He killed it. Those who were in jail, he killed those both rich and poor, every single person. He just straight up sent a death angel, and the death angel, he did not disappoint. He just went in and straight up slayed every single one of them. The scripture said, if God be for you, who can be against you, right? But you think of it this way: if God is against you, who are you gonna turn to? Nobody. You just straight, you're fucked, man. That's it. Curse the whole house so nobody will grow old. Die in the prime. You will die, man. This is Job chapter 5 verse 18. So like it says, for he maketh sore and bringeth up, he woundeth, and his hands make whole. Right? This is right. So like, I'm trying to see some scripture. I just want to read a few closing scriptures and then end the video. This is let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 24. This is Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 24. And the Lord commanded us to do all these things, to do all these statutes, to fear the Lord our God for our good always, that he might preserve us alive, as it is at this day, right? So we fear him for our good, so that he keep us alive. He preserves us, just like he's doing this very moment, just like he's doing you. You're watching this video, just like he's doing you. The fear of the Lord, it'll save you. This is Joshua chapter 24. Joshua chapter 24, verse 14. It says, "Now therefore fear the Lord, and serve him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood and in Egypt, and serve ye the Lord." Right? Fear the Lord and serve him in sincerity and in truth. Fear the Lord. The fear of the Lord, it'll save you. I'll keep saying that. It says, really, let me just close it with Proverbs, the first chapter. This is Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7, right? "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction." So if you despise wisdom, you don't fear the Lord. You're a fool. And the fools always get killed. They get put to death. So, you know, again, I'll say it again. The fear of the Most High is what saves you. It's important. So with that, you know, I say shalom.